Hello, everybody. My name's Ben Robbins from the Lost World of Movie Props. I'm here today with Emily Booth. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
You
it's good
enjoyed
fun.
yourself?
Yeah. I've had a great time. I mean,
Awesome.
I actually live in Hastings. Most people do know this.
Yeah.
I'm a Hastings girl, so it's quite local
Yeah.
for me. And I haven't done a convention, obviously due to COVID,
Yeah.
for a while now.
Yeah, it's been a while now, hasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good to be back.
So, what made you want to become an actress and get into TV and film? Was it just something naturally you wanted to do, or did you fall into it?
A bit of both, I think.
Yeah.
I think I sort of secretly, when I was probably an early teen,
Yeah.
it wasn't really the acting thing. I did always see myself as a TV presenter first.
Yeah.
So I went to Goldsmiths and I did media and film and
Awesome,
all
yeah.
of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But while I was at Goldsmiths, I somehow fell into this scene, largely due to my older brother, and I was asked to play the lead role in a film called Pervarella.
Yeah.
So I did that whilst I was still studying. It wasn't the plan at all.
Yeah.
And then, because what I love about the British sort of horror scene really is that it's quite, everyone does know each other, or they
Yeah.
did this. We're going back to 1998 now.
Nice.
I know the 90s was so much more fun.
They were awesome, weren't they?
Definitely. And then one thing led to another. So Alex, who directed Pervarella, then did Cradle of Fear, which is
Yeah.
much more of a hardcore horror, and I have a really good nasty death scene, and I just ended up really enjoying it. And really, I'm a horror film fan anyway.
Nice. Yeah.
Which is how I got into sort of horror journalism, and that's how I got the Horror Channel. I was the Horror Channel host for like 15 years.
Yeah.
So I introduced all their premieres at the weekends, and I did all their presenting for Fright Fest. And that was because I wrote to them and I said, look, I know my stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like a horror journalist and I'm a presenter and I want to work for you.
Nice.
So I sort of pitched myself to them and then they got me in.
Yeah. So you just mentioned you had an awesome death in one of
Yeah.
your first roles. So tell us about the awesome death. How did you die?
Yeah, that was something a fan asked me earlier. What's your favourite death? I've had a few.
Yeah.
So in Cradle of Fear, what happens? Danny Filth from Cradle of Filth.
Yeah.
He's kind of this satanic character, and we sort of have sex, I suppose, except it's all a bit surreal.
Yeah.
And he implants his demon seed in me, which sort of grows bizarrely, and I sort of suddenly feel something in my tummy, and
Yeah.
because I'm so disgusted by it and scared, I get a pair of scissors and I stab myself to death like that, which was so much fun.
Yeah.
So I went a bit mad, and then after I sort of die, you see this baby coming out, but it's like a baby's head with like crab claws coming out of its
yeah.
head, and it crawls out. It's really horrible, but it was really good fun. I was laughing the whole time.
Sounds fantastic. Like
Yeah,
a different day's work.
it's just fun. It's like being a kid with blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, did you find doing horror roles quite natural, or was it a bit of a challenge to do the acting in it?
Yeah, I mean, I've always found it a bit of a challenge, I suppose, because I never trained in drama, and that's always been like a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. I'm like, I've not trained in drama, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing as an actress, and all of that sort of thing. So a lot of the roles I've tended to get. I mean, Cradle of Fear was quite serious. It wasn't a comedy, but most of the stuff I've done since then have been like more horror comedy, which I'm probably more comfortable with because I'm a bit of a big sort of character, I suppose.
Yeah.
But more recently, I did a horror called They're Outside, and that was much more serious.
Yeah.
That was a found footage horror, so we had to do a lot of improvising, and I had to do a suicide scene that was like really natural, and it was half improvised, half scripted, so that was a real challenge. So I'm probably better at the presenting than the acting, but they're completely different. They're so different.
Areas, aren't they?
The good thing with doing a film though is that it's a bit more, what's the word, not immortalizing, but you're quite proud of them because they're little things that exist forever kind of thing.
Course, yeah. So is it a real difference filming a horror film to like a lost found footage film? How did they film the angles? Is it all different? Or do you just run around the camera yourself just getting the footage?
Yeah. So I've only done and I've done 2 found footage films now. One that's not out yet called Werewolf Santa.
Nice.
I wonder what happens in that. Yes, it was different, but I didn't really have to do the holding the camera bit. But I remember the director just pulling his hair out all the time, going, "Why did I write it like this?" Because you have to justify why someone's holding the camera all the time, or if it gets dropped, why would you pick it up? And there's certain rules within that genre that you have to try and tick off. And also, what was difficult was that because in a found footage film, you wouldn't be naturally cutting all the time. So we would rehearse like 7-8 pages of script or more and have to try and get it in one shot.
Nice. That sounds wicked. Right?
Yeah, so sometimes it would just take all night to do that one thing.
Yeah. So another film you're in as well, you're in Doghouse.
Yeah.
So how did you get the audition for that? What was the audition process like to get in?
Oh, I didn't have to audition.
You didn't, you just got in, did you?
I think if I had to audition for stuff, they wouldn't have me, to be honest. Well, Doghouse was directed by Jake West, who's a good friend of mine, and he did, let me get this right, he did Evil Aliens before Doghouse. So I was in Evil Aliens, and he just asked me to be in that. And then he said, Ems, do you want to be in Doghouse as the lead zombie girl, the snipper? So I just got asked, and that was one of the most fun I've ever had. Doghouse. It was like we're at some bizarre. It was like being in horror summer camp, because we all lived in this abandoned, derelict hospital in the middle of nowhere in Midhurst, where Boris Karloff died.
Oh, really?
Seriously, it was so weird. And that's where we all lived. And then that's where we shot the film as well. So it's like, oh, we're making a horror film. And we're also partying all night with Danny Dyer and everything. So it was just a mad month.
Oh, that was madness, especially in the evenings when you guys were off.
Well, we were starting at 3 p.m. All the prosthetic makeup took, believe it or not, would take like 3 or 4 hours because there were so many girls to get ready. And then you'd film till like 4 or 5 in the morning because it was summer, and then by 5 it's light again. And then they had a on-site bar just for us. So then we went drinking and whatnot till 11 a.m. and then we'd try and sleep till 3 p.m. and then start it all over again.
Nice. It sounds like an awesome adventure to be on.
It was, but we all got ill.
That's brilliant. So I know it's just a little talk today just to get you on camera and say hi and that, but obviously I want to let you get back to the rest of your weekend and meeting your fans. But thank you so much for talking to me. It was really nice.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you.